Welcome to The Author's Journey with #1 international best-selling author and in-demand publisher, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. Today, we'll showcase the works of an amazing best-selling author, find out the story behind their book, and explore ways to bring your message powerfully forward. Now, here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone, to The Author's Journey. Honored to be connecting in with you today. And we specialize in interviewing best-selling authors, really pulling back that curtain and seeing what is the journey really like. What does it take to not only birth a book, bring it forward, publish it, but release it into the world in such a way that it's received and becomes a best-selling book or above? Well, today we have a special guest. I'm excited to introduce her to you. And she is someone who writes in the fiction space and has a trilogy that she's birthing and bringing forward and has released book 1 in the series. And I feel like this series is really about breaking free and standing in your message and standing in your power, like owning that. So I feel like today you're going to learn a lot about how to break free with your message, how to own that, step into that, and really bring forward all the things that you're called to bring forward. You're going to hear a little bit about her journey and some of what she is hoping that readers gain and some wisdom and tips that she's discovered on the journey. Oh, very excited to have each of you joining us and to get the most out of our time together today. I invite you to choose to be fully present. In fact, get a paper and pen. Be ready to write down those things that inspire you, touch your heart and spirit, perhaps spark something within you that you are called to bring forward. Really let this time encourage, empower, and support you. Beautiful. And I always encourage taking a deep breath. Helps us slow down, connect. And in fact, my guest and I, we always do that behind the scenes before starting. It helps us just center for a moment so we can be truly present in our time and connection together. Wonderful. I am excited to introduce our amazing guest. Skye Bellarmine is a #1 international best-selling author, creator of the Breaking Solace trilogy, and she grew up in a nomadic family, so always moving, and she learned at a very early age to adapt to multiple environments and personality styles. She is intuitive and empathetic and has the ability to learn and rise above life's challenges. And she has brought those skills into this powerful trilogy. She is passionate about helping you, the reader, the listener, stand up and overcome abuse and shine. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Skye Bellarmine. Welcome.
Thanks, Rebecca. I'm so excited to be here. Oh, my God. Yes. It's been quite a journey. It really has.
Oh, well, you are very, very welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us. And I just smile in my heart every time we have that opportunity to connect. So thank you for leaning in. I know this is an especially busy time, right? As your book has come out and all of the attention it's garnered, which is wonderful. I just so appreciate you having this opportunity to carve out this time with us today while everything is fresh. I love it.
Yes.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to start our conversation with why writing? So as a way to bring your messages forward, why is that a communication style that's really called to you?
Everybody has a story, and I really believe in the concept of paying it forward. Mm-hmm. And so I've been through so many different life experiences, like I said, moving around my whole life. And then with this being a survivor of a narcissistic abusive marriage, I just feel that writing was a way to touch people and inspire them to work through whatever situations that they're experiencing and just get the message out. I think people, and it's been amazing just seeing how the team has brought the words to the page, to the electronic formats right now for people to receive this message. And it's a message of hope, a message of encouragement, a message of transformation. And I just think writing is the way to produce that.
I love that. And choosing to write, it wasn't all fitting in one book. So you're creating a trilogy, which I think is so powerful. And you've chosen fiction as the way to bring your message and this encouragement and wisdom and hope forward for people. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about that. Why a trilogy? Why fiction? Why is that the format and the way that you chose to stand and really help people in those ways?
Well, while going through the process of learning how to deal with a narcissist in my life, it's been for decades, actually, I was actually out of the country with some of my friends, and I just started writing, Rebecca. I was going through the separation and divorce process, and I just started writing. And it just started flowing. I mean, these scenes, these vignettes, these ideas, these messages on how to be working through a situation that I was going through, but also it was very cathartic. I'll tell you that, and that's one thing I like people ask me, well, how do you start writing? Do you start with page 1 and chapter 1 and all that? I'm like, absolutely not. It's whatever is happening, what's going on, what emotions are bubbling up right now, what situations are unfolding in your life that you want to write about. And I just thought to move it into a fictional setting would allow people to relate, to relate to the characters within the book. And even Callie, one of the main characters, she journals. And so the readers or listeners, when Audible comes out, the readers get to be in Tallie's mind and see what she is actually experiencing. So you're diving into a book, but you're diving into the mind of the main character too, and seeing exactly what she's thinking as she's traveling this very journey.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that you shared that. And in this fiction space, you're able to bring that forward in such a free way to really help people feel in and connect in. And then you decided to, and I love your response to how do you start writing, that it isn't page 1. It's starting with what you're experiencing now, what you're interacting with, the emotions, and you kind of start where you start and let that unfold. And then you can organize it into more of a format for readers to be able to process, for those of you looking to write down some tips as you are listening to our conversation today. Why a trilogy?
May I interject something also?
Sure.
When you are writing about your own life experiences to try to help somebody, it's really nice to write about them as they happen so that you don't have to go back to them, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's live and fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Great tip. And so looking at putting together a trilogy, that could be somewhat daunting for listeners and people. And how did you decide, this is more than one book, this is a trilogy, it's a series. And how did you face and hold that, knowing that you have a trilogy, multiple books that you're bringing together? Was that exciting? Was that scary? Was that daunting, inspiring? How is that for you?
All of the above.
Okay. Fair enough.
So having part 1 out of 3 together is really an empowering kind of feeling right now. So, but actually, just to back up to your question, I was actually at the beach with a friend, and just again thinking about this project, and I was just sitting there thinking there's 3 very distinct plot sequences. So, there's a beginning, middle, and end, if you will. So there's the experience working through life with the narcissist and all that, and how do you handle the day-to-day operations, basically. What do you do? Who's your tribe? I'm like, how do you build that momentum around you to work through whatever you're working through, in this type of book. And then there's the next steps, which is what I'm working on right now and planning to come out this fall with the second book. But that, that's another very distinct sequence of events. And then the third part of the trilogy will be, I want to be negative and say the aftermath, but yeah, it's what does it look like? What does life look like after you've been through the first two sequences of events? And so in my mind, that's how this book lays out. Now, I have a couple of consultants and about some ideas on the sequel that say, "Oh my God, there's more than one book in the middle." So we'll see, Rebecca.
Okay, it might expand. Okay, beautiful.
Could be 2A and 2B in the middle, so we'll see.
Well, I love that. I love how you're listening, you're feeling, and you're honoring the story, the journey, and listening to how it's evolving and coming forward. And I think that's something that's really important as an author and a writer, to honor the journey of the story, because sometimes we have in our mind, this is how it's going to happen. And then when we get in there and we're creating, it has a different agenda. And I think it's beautiful. You're listening.
It does. And there's even plot twists. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some significant plot twists in Breaking Solace, and the readers don't see it coming. And as writing, I didn't see it coming either. Like, oh my God, this is amazing. Let's go there. And so, writing can be so fun. I mean, all those adjectives and adverbs and everything you mentioned before, but it can really be a fun process just because it's so creative.
I love it. I've talked to other fiction writers, and they have shared with me too. Yeah, I get surprised too. I don't always know where it's going. So it starts to take on a life of its own. And I think some of the most powerful fiction books honor that, the twists and the turns and the surprises along the way. So I love that you're doing that. Now, the book that you just recently released, the first one in we think a trilogy right now, but we're seeing it might expand, is Breaking Solace. And you recently received that. It became a #1 international bestseller, 30 best-selling categories, bestseller in multiple countries, U.S., Canada, and Spain. And I'm curious, as the book has gone out there, it's been received that way, and this is just the beginning, just as it's been released. What has that been like for you?
Oh, wow. That's it. Oh, wow. Well, you and I talked, that morning of the launch, just a couple hours in, and it had gone international at that point, and it was mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing, awesome. Feel very blessed. I mean, there's just a whole string of descriptors on that, Rebecca. And the fact that, you and the team and everybody that helped bring this together, just the seamlessness of it blew me away. I'll just put it that way. It just, there's a lot of moving parts, but I can tell when the experts get together and they're on the same page, so to speak, it is literally mind-blowing for someone who I haven't done this before. And so I love it. But it was surreal, very, very surreal that morning and the whole day of the launch, actually. But loved every minute of it.
Oh, well, I'm so glad, and the team and I just celebrate. We're very honored to be on the journey with you and entrusted with that opportunity to launch and share it with the world. And I love how deeply it's been received, and how just in the beginning, because this will continue to ripple out in multiple formats and touch more and more hearts and lives as more and more lean in and read. It's exciting to see. So thank you for letting us be part of it. We celebrate, and I feel like it's a testament to how much your book is needed. And in fact, this is a fiction book. We've been talking about that, but we saw it cross over. In the campaign, it didn't stay in that fiction space. It crossed over into the nonfiction self-help space. So it ended up in categories like codependency and relationships and family. And it's been really neat to see your book cross over and touch both spaces really deeply. And I'm just curious about your thoughts on that.
Well, originally, when I was working on it, like I said, when I was out of the country starting the whole project, I was wondering, okay, is this is this a novel? Is this a self-help book? And the more I researched the topic of narcissistic abuse, the more I researched it, the more it seemed prudent to bring in some like lessons about the red flags and lessons about behaviors and how do you work through that type of situation. So a lot of research went into this, and talking with different experts and all that, but then it felt like it should be a story. It should be Tally's story. And so it morphed into both, I guess I could say, because Tally has counseling sessions and all that. Like I said, she journals and she does research herself on what's going on in her relationship. And so it turned into both. I didn't know that would happen. I really didn't, but it has, and it's pretty amazing.
I love it. I love it. Well, we are getting ready to go to our first commercial break. And as we do so, listeners, I encourage you to really take a moment and drink in those things that are inspiring and encouraging and touching your heart and spirit. When we come back, our amazing guest has even prepared a sample reading so you can get a little bit of a taste of this powerful book. We'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just a moment.
Follow Voice America at Facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click Register at the top right.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes and that opportunity to just really receive everything that's speaking to your heart and to your spirit. And one of the things I like to make available to you is a special series that we've created called the Emerging Author Series. It's a collection of 9 different almost chapter-length ebooks that you can download. They are a gift from our heart to yours to answer all those frequently asked questions that we get around publishing and launching and writing. And do I launch or do I publish? Do I do a combination? What do I do? What are myths and truths in the publishing space? So all of those types of things we've created this special series for. So if you go to emergingauthorseries.com, Emerging Author Series with an S.com, you are welcome to download as many of those resources that support you. We want to encourage you to find a way get great information, find that path forward to bring your message forward. There's a reason it's on your heart and on your spirit. So I encourage you to dig into those resources. We hope they're supportive of you as you lean into discovering those next steps forward for you as a reader and an author and a writer. So enjoy. We are talking with our amazing guest, Skye Bellarmine, and she's been sharing some of her experience in releasing her book, Breaking Solace, that became a #1 international best-selling book, which is just a huge accomplishment, hitting that best-selling status in multiple categories. And she's been sharing a little bit of what it's been like to bring that forward and create that and have it received in such an amazing way so quickly. And I wanted to actually give you a little bit of a taste of this powerful book we've been talking about. So with that, I would love to hand the floor over to you, Skye, if you would like to share. I know you've prepared a sample reading for us.
Yes, Rebecca. Yes, I would love to. So here we go. He left. The house is silent. Dazed, Tally touches her forehead and draws back a bloody hand. In horror, she reaches for the towel rack and collapses onto her knees, pulling the white bath towel down to the floor with her. She presses a corner of the towel onto her bloody temple to slow the bleeding. Total blackness ensues, her body responding to the attack with unconsciousness and shock. The sun streams through the bedroom window as Tally awakens and tries to focus her eyes. Her head is pounding and she hears Blake's voice. "Hey, sunshine," he says, "how are you this morning?" Tally begins to cry as she tries to speak. She reaches for her head to find a bandage on her left temple. What's this? Why is there a bandage on my head? It hurts so badly." "Just calm down, sweetheart. You don't remember last night, do you?" "Why?" she asked. "What happened?" "I'm not really sure. When we got home from dinner with Ren and Jess last night, you seemed disoriented. When I tried to help you up the stairs, you slipped and hit your head on the banister. I carried you up to the bathroom. The bleeding stopped fairly quickly when I applied pressure with a towel I grabbed off the rack in our bathroom. You passed out, so I bandaged your head and then carried you to bed." Tally looks at him with doubt. She lays there quietly for a moment. Blake leans over to kiss her on the head away from the bandaged temple, then suddenly jumps off the bed and leaves the room, whistling as he walks down the stairs. Tally says, unmoving in bed, still in pain, trying to remember the events of the previous evening. "I should call Ren later this morning," she thinks. "She'll be honest with me about what really happened last night. At least, I hope she will." After Blake leaves for work, Tally calls her boss, Sydney Royal, and tells her that she needs to work from home today. Sydney is concerned about Tally's labored speech, and as she senses Tally is in extreme pain. Is it physical or emotional this time? She can't tell. She okays Tally's request to communicate with clients from home today. Sydney hangs up when they finish the call. She's deeply concerned about Tally's well-being and safety. This isn't the first time Tally has requested to work from home this month. Something doesn't feel right. "Beth," says Sydney, calling to her assistant, "please come in here." "Okay, be right there." Beth responds. She walks into Sydney's office and says, "Hey, what's up?" Sydney turns from her drafting table to face Beth. Tally just called to request working remotely today. She didn't sound good. "I wonder what's going on with Blake this time. Remember 2 weeks ago she requested a personal day? When she called that time, I could hear Blake yelling at her in the background." "What exactly did she say when she called today?" Beth asked. "Any clues about what's going on?" "Couldn't really tell," Sydney replies. Her speech was labored, and she didn't sound well. She sounded like she was in pain and distracted. "Let you and I each call her at lunchtime today to check in on her." "Sounds like a plan," Beth says with concern in her voice. "I hope she's okay." "Me too," says Sydney.
Thank you so much for sharing. And listeners, I hope that you can hear the drama, the story starting to unfold, what story, what version is true as you're experiencing some of this through Tally's eyes and through those around her, what they're seeing and experiencing. Thank you so much for your reading.
Yeah, Sure.
I almost felt like ... So hopefully, those of you listening, I want to know what happens. What's next? Where are things going? Do they reach out to help her? What's going to happen next? So for those of you who are intrigued and really wanting to know, I'd love for you to share what is the best way for them to lean in and get a copy.
Well, the book is on Amazon currently. It's in the ebook format right now, and the paper copies are being processed as we speak. And then a little ways down the line, our team is working on an Audible version as well. But right now, it's ebook, and I said paper copies are on the way at Amazon.
Perfect. And they can just look it up by either typing in your name, Skye Bellarmine, or they can look it up by the title. Excuse me. Do you mind sharing the title again?
Yes, Breaking Solace.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. And listeners, I hope that you've written that down on Amazon to get your copy today. I know it will touch your heart and your spirit. You'll be captivated by the story as it unfolds. And I'm curious, as you reflect back on your journey as an author, leaning in to bring your book forward, having it received so powerfully, were there surprises along the way that you had to navigate, and any tips or advice you can give to fellow authors out there?
Rebecca, yes, absolutely. I learned so much along the way, and you and the team just helped me move up that learning curve to become a new author, an international best-selling author. And I would say, yeah, there were surprises. There's so many moving parts and pieces to this process. It was actually rather fascinating to see the timing. I think that the timetable and the timing really was interesting to learn about, and also just the editing process that I learned and grew so much as an author just with the editing process, because it's great when you have another set of eyes or multiple sets of eyes looking at what you've done to add constructive and very helpful advice, especially because they know the process. But I guess it was surprising to me was how seamless it was. Like from the very beginning, and some of my friends and relatives that have kind of been watching and talking with me along the way have been amazed about learning about the whole process too. So yeah, I've loved the learning curve. I look forward to the sequel and the books afterwards. And yeah, but I was surprised at the intervals and the timing, and then how seamless it was. It was just a beautiful process.
I love that. And I feel like one of the things I really appreciated in how you navigated, and I appreciate the seamlessness it felt, because there were some surprises. I know that the timing shifted, and there were some unexpected changes in that happened along the way. And one of the things I thought was so beautiful about how you chose to stand in that is you always held the belief that, there's a reason. There's a reason it's shifting. There's a purpose. That the timing of this book will serve at a higher level if I honor that and hold that. And you just move forward in that way. And I felt like that was so powerful for you, for the team. And you can see how powerfully it was received by honoring that. So any thoughts you have around that, I'd like to share, because I know it can be stressful having shifts and changes to original time frame.
Well, yeah, the timing did change a couple of times on the launch and all that. But like you said, I totally believe there are no coincidences, that everything happens for a reason and there's a purpose. And so when things didn't roll out on the exact day, and I mean, even one of the times it was going to roll out, and then we weren't able to get it out that day, my power was out all day, so it wouldn't have worked in the first place. So I mean, everything happens for a reason. I totally believe that. I've believed that all my life.
I love that. And I saw you just stand in that and lean into that. And you're absolutely right. If the launch date had happened as had been planned, right, that time you wouldn't have been able to interact or be part of it without power. So I loved how you were protected and it was guided to the right time, the right date, excuse me, for the release of your book, and that you were willing to really allow that and hold that, not waste energy on being stressed or it changed or anything like that. It was, this must be a better way, a better plan. So I think that's just an amazing attitude and approach.
What I told you the first time it changed, I said, I don't need to waste any energy or tears on this, because it would be a waste of, tears and eyeliner and my own sense of psyche and energy. So why get upset? Because it was out of my control, and you just have to roll with it sometimes.
Exactly. I just think there's great wisdom in that. We don't want to waste that energy or the mascara. So I love that you honor that and allowed it to unfold so powerfully and beautifully, and your willingness to do that and hold it in that space. As you reflect back on the journey, are there any final thoughts or insights on your heart that you would like to share with our listeners?
I think one of the main ideas to kind of wrap your head and heart around is to be willing to share. Like I said, everybody has a story. If you want to share your story, if you have some fictional or historical idea or something you want to write about, just start writing. Whether it's fiction, nonfiction, whatever it is, even if it's a journal, just start writing. Writing is an amazing process, and it can help us every day to better understand what's going on in our own lives. And also, if there's maybe a message we can share with somebody else along the way, because we're all on a similar journey. We really are.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Just start. Just begin. Allow it to unfold and center and guide you. Beautiful. And for those listeners who they've written down where to get your book and they're excited about that, they can watch for the trilogy. What are some ways that they can connect with you, go deeper, perhaps explore book signing kinds of things or speaking kinds of things, or they would just want to follow you so they're on the list as the trilogy unfolds?
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, I have a website. It is www.StarSkyePress.com, and that is StarSkyePress.com. And also I love emails. I love messages. I am Skye, Skye, at StarSkyePress.com. And I also have Facebook and LinkedIn, Instagrams, either Skye Bellarmine or Star Skye Press, and each of those formats or platforms as well. So I would love to hear from you.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today, sharing your experience, and congratulations again on Breaking Solace, becoming a #1 international best-selling book. Listeners, it is available on Amazon. I encourage you to lean in and get your copy. You've gotten a feel of some of the excitement and energy in the book, and so you can absolutely today go get a copy and really see how the story unfolds. I also want to encourage you to take a couple moments at the end of today's show. Instead of just rushing back into the day and letting it absorb you, I encourage you to carve out a couple minutes for you. Write down some of your thoughts, the things that have touched you, encouraged you, perhaps some things you want to bring forward in how you are navigating your day and navigating those messages on your heart. You can really build the ability to write and capture that into your heart, into your spirit by carving out time to do so. So I encourage you, take a few minutes today to start writing and find that way to break free with your message, to really choose to bring it forward. It matters. It makes a difference. Keep reading, keep writing, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to The Author's Journey. Please join Rebecca Hall Gruyter for another edition of the Author's Journey podcast every Monday on the Voice America Variety Channel. And until we talk again, use some of the tips and inspiration from today's show to guide you as you lean in to bringing your message forward.